that day, it was a Thursday, very hot, near the end of the school vacation. My daughter Malki and her best friend, Michal, decided to buy pizza. And on that day, at about 2 o'clock, the restaurant was full. The girls, from what I understand, were standing next to the counter when a young man walked in. He, as far as we know, did not look like a monster. He was an ordinary-looking fellow with a guitar case on his back, a musician. But he wasn't really a musician. Inside the guitar case, well, as we now know, he walked up to the counter where the girls were standing and he exploded. And when he exploded, he killed many people. And we didn't really know what happened until much later, 12 hours later. That's how long it took us to find Malki. It was really a very, very difficult time. I don't have a very clear recollection, I have to tell you, of all of the details, but by the evening, by the night, the two oldest sons went to the government pathology laboratory where they bring the dead people, and unfortunately they called us and they told us what they found. Even simpler words, what do you do now, is a question which was on my mind from the very beginning. After we buried my daughter, the question, what do you do now, meant, how do I relate to my children, my wife, my marriage, my neighbors, my job? And it's a question which has an answer which is evolving. Even though it's now some years, it's a live issue. The loss is a real loss, and the impact on my expectations in life and the expectations of my family are evolving. It's not so clear. So that's a strategy. Is it resilience? No, because it doesn't take away pain and uncertainty and blackness. But it's a way of surviving. Actually, the word survivors comes to my mind for a reason which is very personal. The fact is that my education was at the hands of parents who were survivors of the Nazi genocide. And being the child of parents who had no childhood, where it was stolen from them, gave me preparation in a way that I never even understood. I didn't know I'm being prepared for this. My parents were happy people. They were not depressed. We were not a family where we talked about hatred or how do we get revenge. I never heard those words. What I heard a lot was go to school, get an education, get a career, build a family, make a contribution. The first thing I want to say is that there's no single way to react. There's no single way to be sad or to grieve, and there's no single way to rebuild your life. And there's no reason to think that you have to fit into somebody's model. That's, to me, for sure. It's important to say this because we all have to confront society and sometimes public officials, and the worst situation is where survivors somehow are left to feel that you disappointed the system. You made other people feel that you're not doing the right thing. This is absolutely to be rejected. The focus, for me, that's the most important, is the community and the family. I would say maybe in the opposite order, the family and the community. This is a successful strategy. Having a strong family and a strong community around you, it's 90% of surviving. And if you don't have it, I don't know what you would do. This is a richly symbolic place. Madrid is a vital, alive city. It's a marvelous city. I love to be in Madrid. The contrast as you come down underground, below the level of the normal life that's going on around here, away from the energy, is very striking. It's an atmosphere of blue and muted light, muted sounds. It's appropriate for people rushing to go about their ordinary life to see this, to walk past it, to think. In fact, even the other way, I feel that as a healthy society which is focused on its own survival, what we must do is never be confused about the terrorists. It's not politics via a different means. It's hatred, and with hatred you have very few options. The fact is that in the work of the foundation which we created in my daughter's name, and it's not unusual, about 1/3 of the families who we help with a damaged child or a special needs child are not Jewish. They're Arab Christians, Arab Muslims, or Druze. About 1/3. To a European, I can imagine that this sounds strange. To an Israeli, it's absolutely not strange. somewhere inside me, there is a desire for me to grab people by the shoulders and say, do you understand that for me this is the most natural thing on earth, to help people if it's possible to help them? Politics? Who's interested in politics? I don't give a damn about politics. It's not about politics. My daughter had zero interest in politics. She had every interest in life. She had a passion for life, for music, for culture, for love. In losing our child, we wanted to show that a response can be not a response of hatred, and not even a response of doing good in the community, but a response that says, here was a child, not a number. It's true, 15 people were killed, and a 16th person is unconscious until today, and 130 were injured. The numbers are not, that's not what happened here. My daughter was not a number. Now I can stand up in front of people and I can say, she had a name, her name was Malky. Here's the Malky Foundation. And if you see what it does, then you understand what my daughter's life was about. It was about doing good and loving other people. I don't have a better way to react to her murder than this.
Components, and I think that's why we're all here.
I just
We did some shopping, you guys.
We were gonna go, but we figured we